For untold decades, scientists have searched for a legitimate method of measuring a person's level of badassness. A sword that's clearly compensating for something, completely missing the obvious answer.
Just check out the size of his sword! Like Guts, the brutal black swordsman from Berserk.
Ragna, the Bloodhead.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. In the realm of Midland, rumors run rampant of a man wielding a humongous blade slaying any who get in his way. But before his legend grew, this black swordsman was known simply as Guts.
Oh man, I'm so excited! Guts is one of the most badass and hardcore characters ever.
But the story of Guts is not for the faint of heart.
Yeah, it's kinda dark. You've been warned.
After a brutal massacre, Guts was born from the corpse of his mother, who'd been hanged from a tree.
And we're just getting started! Baby Guts was discovered by a traveling band of mercenaries and was adopted by the camp whore,
who died to plague 3 years later. With no one left to turn to, Guts was mentored by the mercenary leader Gambino, who began training him in swordsmanship when he was just 6 years old.
Hey Guts, why don't you use a smaller sword, one right for your side? We don't carry any baby-sized swords for kids here anyway.
An extremely determined student of war, Guts was soon brought onto the battlefield and killed his first man at the age of 9.
Despite his skill, life wasn't all murder, sunshine, and rainbows. Young Guts was constantly abused in many ways that I don't really want to go into. But these awful things he had to endure kickstarted the long, excruciating process of grooming Guts into the scariest man in the world.
After killing his crazed adoptive father in self-defense, Guts became a lone mercenary, and a damn good one. Recognized for his skill, he was recruited by the mercenary crew called the Band of the Hawk, led by an ambitious man named Griffith. The Hawk's Raiders would be Guts' first taste of camaraderie and friendship.
Over the next 3 years, they single-handedly ended a 100-year war. Things were looking up for Guts. And then Griffith summoned a horde of demons, transformed into a bat monster, murdered all of Guts' friends, and claimed ownership of Guts' soul by branding his neck. If that wasn't traumatic enough, Griffith then raped Guts' girlfriend in the pool of his friend's blood as he watched, pinned down with his eye gouged out and forced to cut off his own arm.
Definitely not his best day. After all that, Guts dedicated his entire life to murdering Griffith as painfully and brutally as possible, while fighting demons on a daily basis as they are drawn to his brand like moths to a flame.
But to do this, he needs the right tools for the job. He carries a belt of throwing knives and a pouch of mini-bombs even demons can't take.
He also received a new mechanical hand, which houses a flamethrower, repeater crossbow, and a hidden single-shot cannon. Perfect for blasting a demon's face off.
Surprise, bitch!
But none of that compares to Guts' primary tool of destruction, the giant blade known as Dragon Slayer.
Massive, thick, heavy, and far too rough. It's too big to be called a sword, more like a heap of raw iron. And it might just be the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Forged by the legendary hermit Godo, Dragon Slayer was made to, well, slay a dragon. Unfortunately, it was laughed off as impossible to use by anyone.
Except for Guts.
Sitting 6.5 feet long and weighing over 400 pounds, the Dragon Slayer is enormous, though not unfeasible. In real life, the largest sword ever used in battle belonged to a Frisian freedom fighter and stood 7 feet tall, though it wasn't nearly as heavy, only 14 pounds.
With a single swing of Dragon Slayer, Guts can cleave through a man wearing heavy armor, along with his weapon, his horse, and any other people, animals, or demons who happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
And after killing over 1,000 demons, no, I did not stutter, Dragon Slayer has bathed in so much demonic blood that it now rests in both the physical and astral planes of existence. Somehow. Meaning it is capable of harming any supernatural being.
Even ghosts!
Guts is an absolute monster in combat. He can move faster than the eye can track, killed 100 soldiers on his own in a single night, and once jumped in the mouth of a giant sea god, cut his way through it, and killed it from within.
You intend to gamble your life on a single strike?
Guts will do anything to defeat his foes, including jumping into fire or allowing himself to be impaled just to gain an advantage. And somehow he always survives. He's fallen hundreds of feet, gotten stabbed through the face, taken 1,000 supernatural punches at once, and even been run over by an elf fairy Mothra going supersonic speeds.
But his disregard for his own safety can be costly. Honestly, the only reason he's still alive is pure dumb luck and unstoppable willpower.
And if Guts wasn't tough enough on his own, he wears the Berserker armor, the most insane battle gear you've ever seen.
Activating the Berserker armor seals off the wearer's nervous system, making him immune to pain and its natural inhibitions. This allows Guts to fight at his fullest potential, boosting his power and speed at the risk of damaging his own body.
With this armor, Guts' sword swing is more powerful than a cannonball, though the Force can break his own arm. But don't worry, the cursed Berserker armor will literally rip and pierce his body to pin the bones and muscle back in place.
Now don't get the wrong idea, the armor does not actually heal Guts, it just holds him together. This is dangerous because, well, even though Guts won't feel pain, that doesn't make him invincible.
Plus, the Berserker armor also kinda forces Guts to give in to his inner demons and lose all sense of morality and restraint, making him the most violent demon killer ever.
Violent and completely uncontrollable.
Guts is the embodiment of rage and the epitome of badassery. Believe me, the last thing you want to do is get in this guy's way.
My sword has gotten very dull. However, it's 3 times as thick and does 3 times the damage of a normal sword. You'd better pray you die quickly, or this could be painful.
Nearly a century ago, humanity was hunted to near extinction by the fearsome Black Beast. Fortunately, 6 brave heroes slayed the monster and saved mankind. The remains of humanity was reorganized under an oppressive government, until one man decided to rise up. Ragna, the Blood Edge.
Baggy pants, giant sword, brooding personality. Ragna has tragic backstory written all over him.
I'd actually go with gruesome. As a young child, he and his siblings were confined in an experimental facility as lab rats.
Bummer. What were they trying to do?
No one knows. The important thing here is they were rescued by a talking cat named Jubei, who also happened to be the most feared warrior on the planet. However, things took a darker turn when Ragna's sister Saya grew very sick.
With what?
Sickness? No one knows. Ragna took Saya under his wing, but their younger brother Jin was irritated that Ragna was not spending more time with him. Being a reasonable guy, he decided the only solution was to murder his brother.
Oh yeah, that makes a ton of sense. I'm lonely. I'll kill one of the only people I care about. Great plan. So then a maniacal hipster villain named Yuki Terumi showed up out of nowhere, helped Jin impale Ragna through the chest, and then cut off his arm for good measure.
Why? How? No one knows. Have you familiarized yourself with that phrase yet? Good, because it's not stopping anytime soon.
Moving on, for sanity's sake, Ragna would have been done for until an omniscient, time-traveling, pig-tailed vampire descended from the heavens, snapped her fingers, magicked him a new arm, and left. No, don't think, just accept.
Surprisingly still conscious, and apparently an expert of things that have never happened before, Ragna instantly recognized his new appendage as an Azure Grimoire, a piece of the Black Beast which Ragna can use to manipulate Seether. Seether is a radioactive energy left behind by the Black Beast all over the world.
Like magic.
Well, no, magic is totally different.
But it lets him do magic-type stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Well, after missing out on the maiming and resurrection of Ragna, Jubei the cat ninja returned and decided to teach him the ways of combat.
Where the hell was he before? No one knows.
Probably destroying someone's furniture or pissing in their shoes.
Through his training, Ragna's control over Seether became practically unmatched. He can form various parts of the Black Beast in combat, transform his own arm into razor-sharp claws, or drain the soul of his foe through his strikes.
But if he needs more power, more defense, and more soul-sucking, he can crank these up to 11 with his Blood Cane form.
Upon completing his training, Jubei bestowed upon him a red cloak and a deadly blade called Blood Scythe.
This baby can extend for stabbing strikes, and like the Azure Grimoire, slowly drains the souls of its victims upon contact. And before you point out that it's clearly a sword, not a scythe, it can do this. Ragna's angsty rage took him on a world tour of single-handed government smashing, earning him the nickname, the Grim Reaper.
And racking up an unprecedented bounty of 90 billion, whatever their currency is. No one knows. And despite being the largest bounty of all time, he still freely walks the world on foot and in public with no attempt to disguise himself whatsoever.
Probably because nobody wants to piss him off. We're talking about a guy who treats getting knocked through solid concrete as an inconvenience, has survived multiple impalings through the chest, took out hundreds of armed officers without breaking a sweat, and obliterated an entire street with a single one-hand sword strike.
Ragna is referred to by some as the most powerful man in the world, but he's also known as a risk-taker with a short temper.
And despite being trained by the most dangerous kitty cat in the world, Ragna is obviously nowhere near Jubei's level of skill, who terrifies even the deadliest villains of the series.
But after all was said and done, Jubei left Ragna with a dire warning. Never think of the Azure Grimoire as your own.
Which is kind of bullshit. I mean, it's attached to him, so I'm pretty sure he's got dibs.
Well, he does, but if he loses control over it, it can transform him into the Black Beast itself. In fact, Ragna was the original Black Beast, sent back in time after falling into a magic cauldron. The two were somehow separated and did battle in the past. These events would repeat themselves in a 100-year time loop until this chick saved Ragna from falling into that cauldron, stopping the Black Beast from appearing in the past in the first place.
But if the Black Beast never went back in time, then it would never have created Seether, and everything in BlazBlue shouldn't exist as we know it. So how?
No one knows!
Can we just make this guy fight someone now?
I'm the main character, and yet again, I get left in the dark. It's really starting to piss me off.
All right, the combatants are set. Let's end this debate once and for all.
It's time for a death battle! Giant swords, yeah!
Who are you? You're in my way. Stand aside.
Out of my way.
You're dead.
You gotta be kidding me. Let's get this over with.
Fight!
Die!
Restriction 666 released. Dimensional corruption imaginary number formed.
BlazBlue, activate! My turn now! Idea engine light! This'll sting!
Tapping out. I'm not gonna waste any more time on you, asshole.
Shit!
I told you to stay out of my way.
sword fight.
Ragna put up a tough fight, but
While Nightmare wields more power than Guts, this is what Guts does every single day. He gets the shit kicked out of him trying to defeat gods and demons leagues above his abilities and still prevails.
it's true, all his life.
I mean, this guy lives in a world where giant monsters are trying to kill you, eat you, rape you, or all three at the same time. And that's just Monday.
It's true. All his life, Guts has had the odds stacked against him, and yet he's still kicking while everything else is dead. Centuries worth of fighting experience trumped Ragna's training, and he has consistently shaken off wounds more easily. The Black Beast was impressive, but his Berserker armor bought him plenty of time to land the killing blow.
Yeah, because it will literally let you fight on until all of your bones are shattered and the last drop of your blood is spilled. Ragna just burn out in the end. Guts was just a whole nother caliber.
The winner is Guts.